So I'm just introducing myself to you guys. I'm Miriam Namayanja. Some of you might know me, some of you don't know me. So I'm so excited to meet you guys today. And as our title says, we're going to discuss goal setting. Let me first clear this. We're discussing goal setting today and intentional living because we cannot really separate those two. So names, I'm Miriam Namayanja, and I am an auditor by profession. I'm married. I have one baby called Kais. And yeah, I like personal growth as a topic, and mostly personal finance, though they're all connected. So that's why I'm pushing more into the personal growth as a whole. So I run channels called Financial Literacy in Luganda on Facebook and on YouTube. But today we're going to discuss goals. So why did I decide to share with you about goal setting? So in 2020, well, COVID happened. And as you guys know, like if COVID didn't change you, then can I say you're hardcore? Like most of us got into that point of thinking what we really want to achieve in life. So I thought critically, and I was like, well, you can as well die any minute. So what would life be if I really achieved what I wanted to achieve in life? Like not living as, say, life has been, say, some of us like we grow up in a way of from nursery, go to primary, you do this, get married, live life and die. But then through that stage, I realized there's so many things that I wanted to achieve that I would have missed upon unless if I intentionally made an effort to like achieve whatever I wanted to achieve. So in 2020, I started like soul searching myself to see what do I really want to achieve in life. And I started, well, I came across a lot of material and it challenged me. I was like, do the things these people say really work? So I did so many things, 2020, 2021, but mostly 2020 is when I started like real living an intentional life. And by intentional, I'm meaning doing things that I want instead of what other people want me to do. Well, we'll get more into that later. But then I did things and I realized, well, these things actually work. So I tried out so many things. I created so many kinds of businesses, some of which some of you might know about the businesses I created, some of you don't know, but I tried out so many things and it really changed my life because I realized, well, things really work out if you want them to work out. So it didn't just happen. I realized success is an intentional journey. You might have come across that statement, and maybe you just looked at it and just proceeded with your life. But I've tested this and it works. Like success is not an overnight thing that you just bump into. It's actually specific steps that someone has made, like its intention to receive success. So yes, I'm taking us to this session today. I've created a lot of material and I hope that someone is able to pick something out of this and have your life transformed. So as we start, get comfortable, get a glass of water. I have my glass here. Get a piece of paper, pen, because I might mention something and it clicks something in your mind and you might not remember it at the end of the session. So it's better you have something where you can write anything, whatever might click in your head, just to set you off. And then, like I mentioned at the start, there is a Q&A tab where you can type a question. You can type it anonymously. You can type a comment or a question, whatever you wish. So it can be anonymous so that your name is not displayed along with it. And yeah, I'll be responding as we get out. So just avoid any distractions. If you're watching TV, please switch it off for a minute and then we proceed. So yeah, that's our session today. So we're going to, I'm taking you through what you're supposed to expect from the session. I try to put in some humor in the slide. So the first one says, am I really that fat? So this is just a reality check to assess where are we standing as of today, like what is your current situation? And this is in regards to goal setting. Maybe some of you have ever set goals, some of you have never, some have, and then we're going to just, you're going to like search within yourself, why have you, like, why haven't you ever set goals? What has made you not follow through your goals? That is what we're going to cover in this category. And then the next part is, you mean no smoothies without fruits. Under this category, we're going to just look at the goal setting process, because a smoothie goes through a process. It doesn't come naturally as a smoothie. That's what we're going to cover here. And then the third bit of it is like, oh crap, I got a flat tire. So this happens when, if you've ever set goals, there's a point that you reach and you're sort of stuck. And most people give up at that point. But then we're going to assess and see what to do at that point when you feel stuck or when things feel that they're not moving. Then the other part is, wow, there's a whole world out there. Here we're going to look at how we are as humans, because we're not like, life is not in a box. Can I say like that? There are so many things that are so interconnected in our living. So we're going to look at that in the perspective of goal setting. And then we have a cookie jar. Well, a cookie jar, I think that song of the cookie must have been playing in my mind when I was doing these slides. So under this, I'm going to just give you recommendations, tools, and so many other things that you can use in your journey. Yeah, so I have very few slides. Well, goal setting is such a huge topic, but I've tried to put as much information as possible in these few slides that I've been able to set, and I hope it can like give you a jump start. You see, if you've ever driven like old cars, they can get stuck at some point and then it can't start until someone helps you with the jump start, and then you connect it to your battery and then you're able to move. So that is my whole perspective of this session, just to get you guys moving. And then as you move, you'll keep getting a lot and more information about personal growth, about goal setting. And yeah, you'll be able to proceed. So this is just to get you started. So let's start with a reality check. Am I really that fat? In reality check, I'm looking at the reasons why people don't set goals. And you can give me your reason in the Q&A. I'm going to just go through these that I was able to think about. So someone might say, well, I'm my own boss. You know, as we grow up, we like want to live that life of, I live my own life. I don't want anyone to tell me what to do. So some people are like, I don't want goals because I feel someone is commanding me. But well, you realize that if you don't set goals, like already someone is commanding you, because we're built in a way that, actually, let me give you this scenario. So life is like, let me say you're in a car. Let me use an example of an Uber. So you're in an Uber and you're in the back seat, like if you've not taken goals, and it's moving. And then you realize that, who is driving this car? So goal setting comes in a way that you realize that no one is actually in the front driving. You're just drifting through life. And what drifting causes is you don't have a particular target where you're going. You can take left, right, you can stay stunted, just moving around in circles, and you'll never know until you have a target where you're going. So that is what it is in life. You're just drifting through life until you have a target that you're moving towards. That is the only time where you're going to like get moving and be propelled to exactly what you want to achieve. But if you allow yourself to just drift and then you think someone is in the driver's seat, well, there is no one. You're the one supposed to control this vehicle of life. So until you take control, until you take the driver's seat, you're just drifting through life and you're not the boss. You might think, yes, you're the boss, you decide whatever you do, but you're actually not. That's why at points you have your friends and you're like, what are you doing over the weekend? Let's take a road trip up country. You feel like you're the one who has made that decision, that abrupt decision that, well, I'm going on a random road trip on a weekend, but it's actually not you. Like, you're moving with your friends. Your friends are the ones who have made that decision for you because you don't really have anything that you're doing at that point. So your life starts getting intertwined into other people's life. You start working on their bucket lists. So this weekend, I'm like, I feel like taking a road trip, but then I don't have anyone to go with, and it's on my bucket list for this month. So let me call up person so and so. And then I realize this person doesn't have anything that they're doing, and they have no idea what they should even be doing. So I call them up and like, man, let's go up country. See, me myself who has told you that I'm taking off something off my bucket list, but then guess what is happening to you? You're just drifting through life, making me achieve my dreams as yours are packed away in a box somewhere. So that is what I'm looking at here. People don't set goals because they feel they don't want someone to command them. But actually, if you look deeper within your life, someone is commanding every decision that you're making. So until you start making intentional moves, until you start saying, at this point, I'm supposed to be doing this, your life is still going to be, it's going to be driven by someone else and not you. Then the other bullet I have here is, life does not get any better. So I don't know who among us is feeling they've achieved it all in life, like it cannot ever get beyond this. But reality says we have too much potential than we could ever utilize in our lives. Like, you have a lot that you can achieve beyond what you've ever thought about. Now imagine, let me see, 50 years ago, no one would have imagined there would be commercial flights to space. And then someone was weird enough to think, well, this thing is possible. And they focused their whole attention to building spaceships. And right now there are trips happening. So yes, life gets better. This is not the maximum of your potential. You can still achieve way beyond. And you can only do that if you keep setting targets and moving them as you achieve whatever you've set. Then someone might say, well, goal setting is rich people problems. You might be right, but the only wrong thing about this is calling it problems. So I was realizing that success, like I mentioned at the start, it's not abrupt. It's intentional. It's intentional steps set by people. Even though us in the background, we might not realize, I don't know if you guys have ever had a point like someone telling you, well, you're just lucky that this and this happened, but if you were in my life, but then you're the person they are telling, like, I put in a lot of effort to get to this point. So yes, a miracle might have happened, and a miracle in this case, I'm calling it, there is a word I like these days called serendipity. It's another word that people use for luck. So you're supposed to align yourself in a way that luck finds you, and you can only do that if you have goals set, because opportunities are going to keep presenting themselves. Unless you're clearly focused on what you want, you'll not be able to recognize these opportunities. So yes, these are rich people. I won't call them problems, I will call them games, because when you start setting goals, realize that you get addicted to hitting targets, and it becomes more of a game. Like you set this, achieve it, take it off, get onto another thing. So it's not as like sad kind of life that people think. It's not a restricted kind of life. It's actually enjoyable to live a life full of purpose. And then there's another part of, I want it now. Why should I wait? So, when you're setting goals, there is what we call priority. So imagine if someone gives you a weird amount of money right now, say someone gives you 500 million right now. And then, like, what do you do? The first thing that might come into your head might be like, well, let me travel the world. But then 30 minutes later, that is not what you really want to achieve. So goal setting will be able to help you set priorities, realize that what you think you want right now can actually wait. There is something that is more important. So you'll not be able to work on priority things until you're able to list down what you really want, think through it, and then realize what is more pressing than the other. That's why you should set goals. So if you're not setting goals and you feel you want something right now, well, there is another area in your life that is more urgent, that should have more priority than the rest. And you'll not be able to realize those areas until you have all the different options written down and thought through. Others are like, well, my parents, my ancestors never did that kind of crap you're calling goal setting. Like, didn't they survive? And as humans, we're built in a way of, we're always searching for something. We're supposed to achieve something. So we are built to have a purpose. And unless you give yourself like a defined purpose, your brain will actually find it for itself. Take an example. I don't know if you've ever found yourself in a bored situation, like you say you have a random weekend and you really don't have any plans. So as you're lying in your bed, realize that, what do I do with my life? That's when weird things start kicking into your head. Now, the weird things that usually kick in my head are around the kitchen. I start preparing weird things. Maybe like, okay, what if I bake something? Like, what if I bake cakes, but instead of using sugar, I use maybe honey, put in weird fruits. Like, what is the result? So our brains are always searching for purpose. They are not built to be idle. They are built to always be achieving something. So until you direct your brain to achieve a particular thing, it will search for some other thing to achieve. And most of the times, those things are either mediocre things, if they are on the good side, or they usually work against you. So the moment you realize that whether you put in effort or you don't put in effort, your brain is going to find for itself what to achieve. The best thing is, well, better put in effort and set for it what it's supposed to achieve. Like if you're bored and you're like, instead of baking weird things like Miriam, tell yourself, okay, let me read a book instead. So if you don't tell your brain that if you're bored, read a book, if you're bored, take a walk, your brain is going to just replace, not replace because it wouldn't be there. Your brain is going to create a command for itself and execute it if you have not given it a command. So that is what goals help us. They create purpose. They help our brains get commands that are supposed to help us instead of self-created commands that may be mediocre or that may work against us. And then some people don't set goals because they hate failing. They feel like if